Right, bash plate 5. Yep, 5 already. Okay, I'm going to get straight into it today, but I want to show you this first. So unplug that. Just show you this. Just what happened when I came in the garage. It's obviously nasty out there. Just rain, wet, everywhere. And you come in the garage and look. All I did was open the door and everything's wet. Absolutely everything. Penny's bike. Everything's soaking wet, all the chrome, all the metal. And this happens because I think all the pipes are wet. This happens because it's cold in here. Everything's moist and wet and damp. And it's all because it's cold in here. I've just come home from work on that and it's all wet from rain. But generally speaking, this is wet because it's cold in here and it's gone mild and wet outside. So what that does, it just means the condensation pops up and everything gets absolutely soaked. So I'm going to leave the door open and put the heater on, try and warm things up a little bit, dry everything out. This is this horrible, ridiculous, stupid ass weather we're having at the minute where it's just raining. It's flooded half the country out. We're hoping to God it don't freeze because then we'll have more ice rinks than Reykjavik. And you know, you think your garage is sealed, you think your garage is a safe place to put your bike, but it's not. You really got to take care and pay attention to this. All the tools, all my sockets and spanners, wrenches, everything in the toolbox is dripping wet. It's all damp because it's been, like I said, got down to about 2 or 3 degrees centigrade in here, and it's been closed up, so it hasn't warmed up. It's stayed cold in here like a fridge. You know what happens? You take a bottle of milk, put it on the side in a warm kitchen, condensation all over it, and that's what's happened. Open the door up, let some warm air in, moist warm air, and that's what's happened. So door open, lots of air flowing through, going to get stuck in, set up to do the next stage, project bash plate. That's it, got space. What are we doing off? Right. Today, quite simply, is more of this round here. Where I bent this to hang paintwork on, I need the straight bits. I'm just going to chop off all the little bits that I don't need, because you won't straighten it out no matter how hard you try. Right, you see what we're doing? That's what we did the other day, which gave that effect around there. So I'm going to do more of the same around the sides. It's straightforward, isn't it? Now, before I do that though, obviously this top is only square because that's just where it was convenient. And what I think we need to do is bolt this back on the bike and just measure it. Right, that's back on there. Okay, now it's just a case of just going to draw a radius down there to give this a little bit of a shape that I think will look right. I mean, at the moment, it doesn't look too bad, but it does come up a bit high. So I think we're just going to have a little think and a ponder how I'm going to do this, or how I'm going to bring this to bear, because that's wrong. That don't look right like that. It's too square. Looks like a big fat bib. Too obtrusive. Maybe I'll bring it to there, curve it, don't know. Right, gonna have a think, have a head scratch, do some drawing, and see where I reckon I need to cut that before I start putting the rod around it. Right, a little bit of maths again. Now what I'm going to do with that, just looking at how much right behind here, come down from this hole just by that much, and then there's a gap. That's where the bottom of the frame is. Then there's two frame bars. So if you start coming down like this, you're going to have gaps at the top to let the crap through, and it won't look as solid on the front. So I just want to round it off really, and the right way, methinks. Is just to take that simple line from there, square, and point across. There we are. Inside arc. And same the other side. Same that side. And then it's a symmetrical curve each side. Nice and even. Right, let's just trim that out. I reckon the old lapper will do that. There we are. Big old towel on that. Stop the noise. This was a suggestion from one of you guys. That was quite a good idea. Bang a big old towel over the metal. Stops it moving about. And then it cuts the noise down. Talking of which, shut the door. The neighbour's sun piece. Now this, I could cut that with a jigsaw or a pair of snips or whatever, but it's going to be way better. Let's come out a bit. Way better to do it just by a lapper. There's nothing to it, there's nothing much there, it's only about ½ an inch. Just reminding what I did last time, take all the sharp edges off every time because it's going on and off the bike. So easy to gouge a lump out the frame with a sharp bit of sheet. Right, there you are. And that looks a bit better. A lot neater and in place. And obviously it's going to be this thickness here. So when you look at that edge up there, it will be a nice thick piece of steel instead of this bit of gangy sheet metal at the minute. But that's it, that's the next task. Obviously that's bolted tight up to the frame. Look at this, it's just soaking wet in here. Right, so once that's welded, once this stuff's all done round the back, that won't bolt in so tight, it'll look a little bit better. But just for now I've just bolted it in just so it stays there. Right, let's get the welder set up, let's get some rod welded on. Just got fiddly business first of just curving that first little bit so it fits the curve. Time consuming. This is so time consuming. This is exactly what we were saying in the last video about projects. They just eat time. But that's not a problem. Right, there's the first little bit, and that's taken 20 minutes. Just flexing that with the grips and making it fit so it fits in there. Just picks up that curve. You just go a bit too far, you bend it back and it's buggered. That fits there. Certainly as good as it needs to fit. Right. Now I've got to weld that in place. First one, brass brush. I think that's what we can call penetrated. Right, set the next one up. By the way, there's about 80-mile-an-hour wind out there, so I'm quite glad I'm in here really. Right, power. Right, that's enough tacks already so soon. Brass brush. Oddly enough, I think due to the existing wire in there, that's staying dead straight. It's not warping at all, which I like a lot. Right, see if that's solid and movable. Alright, clean her up. Good and solid. There we are. All the way down, good penetration all the way around there, and if you can see it that way on, it's got a slight curve that way, very slightly, but that will just flex back once it's cooled off. There's no twisting or warping. What I was worried about was the whole thing starting to do that. All there is a little tiny bit of curve that way, and that's not a problem. Right, let's give that a clean up. Right, there we go. Going to call that part 5 now. 4:45 now. Going to get dinner on Penny Pit Stops home quite shortly. I'm not going to round any more of that off. I'm not going to dress it like I did in the central hole, not until I've done the bottom half. So it's got to weld the bottom 3 pieces on. When that's done, then I can get stuck into rounding the whole lot off. And handy really, because the outside edge I can do a little bit with a lapper, so it'll be a little bit quicker. I'm just going to kind of take the bulk of it out with a lapper and then dress it finally with a file, I think. I hope. It may not work. Maybe I have to do the whole lot with a file, which is loads of noise and fuss and probably 2 episodes, but I'll get it done. That's it. Once that's done, then it's a case of just finalise the mounting, bore the holes in it, put the mesh on it, prep it, paint it. Oh, so far to go. Right, well, there we go. Take it easy, ride safe. See you next time.